How's everybody doing? I'm Cameron Meredith with ADU West Coast, and here just wanted to put out another video of some things that we're seeing in the field as we progress and build more ADUs throughout the state of California. So I just put this little list together as some extra costs when building an ADU. So these are some things that you as an owner might not expect to come up, but I'll go through each category and explain when that could come up and approximate cost and things of that nature. So hopefully this video is helpful for you guys. And here we go. We'll start with the first page here. And really one thing that's very unknown is soils reports. So the rule is if there's any ground up structure being built on your property, it's going to be required to have a soils report. So a lot of you might wonder, what is a soils report? How do I get one? Who do I reach out to? So this to the right is a soils report of what it looks like. So pretty much what it is, it's a survey where they drill into your soil to a certain depth to figure out what type of materials, sand, rock, etc. is built up of your soil. That tells the builder and us what we can do as far as structurally building that structure. And again, it is required for any ground up new construction ADUs, as well as ground up single family dwellings as well. So again, if you're doing a garage conversion, it's not necessary. If you're doing a junior ADU, which is attached to the main house, that is not necessary. Only if you're doing a ground up unit. So you would reach out to a soils engineer for this or a civil engineering group. It's required for any new detached construction ADU, as I mentioned. Cost will vary depending on your lot and area, but you can probably guess an average costing for a soils report is around $5,000 to $8,000. Again, kind of depending on what area and your lot. Again, I kind of went over this. It's got to be a registered civil engineer that conducts the report. So there's certain qualifications that you have to do in order to submit and stamp off on this report. And then again, I already went over that. You check to see the soil condition, water table, etc., as far as the building conditions. Another hidden cost could be solar panels. This is something that comes up again on any new construction ground up unit, including ADUs. So if you're building an ADU from scratch out of your backyard, not converting your garage or adding on, solar panels will be required. Could cost anywhere from 10,000 plus, depending on your size of your ADU unit, as well as the panel amount that's required. And very interesting, we're doing one right now, and the city's actually saying that you can do some exemptions. So hardship, for example, proving that, hey, this extra cost of 10,000 is too much for us. We don't have the funds to do that. We've already budgeted for this project, and an extra 10,000 is just a little too much for us to bear. So that's one way. Another example, which is what we're doing right now in the county of Orange County. It's a area in Santa Ana that's jurisdicted by the county. So we're doing a county submittal. They do require solar, and the area that the ADU we're building, proposed of building, is shaded by trees. So the city's telling us you can, number one, cannot cut down the trees, but you have to do solar. So we went back and forth with him and said, hey, look, the location of the ADU and the shade, the actual amount of shade that the trees is covering isn't going to make sense for the solar panels. So we'll see how that pans out. But there is ways you could possibly get out of it. Just talk to your local city. Now, very important, some cities will actually only make you do solar ready, quote unquote, which is have solar plans attached with your architectural drawings, and they might make you have hookups for the solar panels, not necessarily install them. But there are some cities that will actually make you go through and install the units. Let's be safe to say that if it is new construction, just always assume the city's going to make you do solar panels. That way you err on that side, because again, it could vary between city and city, but it does say in state law that it is required on all new construction. So again, error on the side that you do have to put new solar for new construction. Here's another cost. We always, and most companies always connect to your main sewer line of your house right in front of the street. So if you look at this diagram here, let's say we built the AD unit in the backyard, which is where this wording would be. We trench a whole new sewer line and connect right up here to the front. So you'll see we put a new clean out. That way, if there's any issues with your front house, there won't be any cloggage with the back ADU unit. Now, if you wanted to connect to the sewer main, that's a whole nother ball game and a whole nother cost as well. You might ask, well, when is there cases when I would need to connect to the main? Number one, if your load for your front house and the diameter of your sewer pipe is too small, it would require a whole new connection to the city main. You can prevent this unknown cost by hiring a plumber to do a scope as well as a video scoping where your sewer line is and how wide that sewer connection is. Okay, that could save a lot of costs because, like I said, it's pretty rare that we need to connect to the main sewer. But if we do, that cost could be upwards of $10,000. Like I mentioned, we always connect to the house as far as the house sewer line in the front. The connection to the main sewer requires civil and city work, so you must coordinate with the city or utility company that is in your jurisdiction. They're the ones that come out, they're the ones that dig that up and connect that sewer line. Again, $10,000 plus is what you're looking at. And then if your sewer capacities are already at a max, you might need to connect to that main sewer line. Another thing that's always excluded in most companies and most bids is hardscape and landscape. This is something you got to think about. How much hardscape and landscape do I want? Obviously, it's going to be required to have a pathway leading up to your unit in order to pass inspection. So that's usually an extra cost. Any landscaping is always an extra cost. You can, at least plan for 5,000 to 10,000 on average, depending on your design and how extensive you want to do this. And again, walkway leading up to the unit is definitely required to pass for a final inspection. Separate metering, this is another cost that could be out of pocket for the owner. I know I can only speak for us. We do include a separate electrical meter. We do not include a separate water meter or a separate gas meter. That would be a separate cost. Obviously, if you're renting the unit out, you probably want those separate metered. If you're moving a family member back, it might not be that big of a deal. So it kind of depends on the client. But again, there's electric, water, and gas. The water and gas company, if you wanted separate utilities there, the utility companies will schedule to install themselves. The price of this, as far as getting separate meters, varies between city. For example, Long Beach just told me, or not me, one of our clients the other day, that their water meter installation for this particular property would only be $200. That's in lieu of another city in Orange County, as far as Lake Forest, saying that it's going to be close to $5,000 to install a separate meter. So again, it varies between city. You need to talk to your local city or local utility company to figure out what that cost would be. And then again, I already talked about, we always include a separate electrical meter. Here's another out-of-pocket cost for the client, which is for most cases in all bids that most clients will get, or potential clients. So no matter what company you're dealing with to build your ADU, they're usually most likely going to exclude the city permitting fees, which are separate. This includes permit fees, plan check fees, school fees, development fees, and taxes, right? Your average for a garage conversion is somewhere around $5,000, give or take. Again, you need to go to your city and verify, because it varies between cities and project size. So call the city yourself, figure out what their payment would be for your size structure, and they'll be able to tell you. And then a big thing here, if you are building a unit over 750 square feet, they do charge impact fees. So please be aware of that. Any unit over 750 will have an impact fee, which is an extra one-time fee to you as the client getting your permit. And then right here, you can kind of see this infograph. You can see this infograph, and it tells you the submittal process, how long that takes, etc. again, just like everything else I'm telling you, each city's different. So each timeline could be a little different. But as far as pre-construction, we're looking at least 4 to 5 months. And then appliances. Appliances are usually separate from the actual bid you're getting from any company. It varies between what brand and type you get. Again, some people want to move their parents back, want a little more customized with a little nicer appliances. If it's a rental, you might want something a little more, not as nice, but durable. So again, this always varies, which is why it's always usually a separate cost to the client. Again, your average ranging for this, depending on what type of appliances you get, could be anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 on average. And that's pretty much it. I wanted to keep it short and sweet. Again, these are just some small things that people don't think about when they're going through, or maybe they haven't been notified of when meeting people or doing research. But hopefully this information helps. Again, my whole goal of this is to be as informational as possible. And if anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out on any of the information here to the left. We'd love to hear from you. And then obviously stay tuned, because we plan on putting out more videos. And I appreciate you guys watching, and have a great rest of your day.